Imagine being part of a shitcoin rug, and then the developers promised, the team promised that you would be made whole. And then 3 years later, you're still waiting. Welcome back, everyone. Figured today we would talk about some shitcoining. So let's dive into it. DAO maker hack victims still await reimbursement 3 years later. That's right, guys. Shitcoining is the gift that keeps on giving when you get wrecked. Let's dive into it. The DAO maker crypto fundraising platform, not to be confused with MakerDAO stablecoin protocol, is attempting to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars to fund a new Web3 project in 2024. Victims of its August 2021 hack say the project never reimbursed them for the losses they suffered in the attack, even though its development team promised to make all victims whole again. The hack was allegedly the result of a private key compromise suffered due to its developers' negligence. I'm sure that this wasn't intentional. Anyways, DAO Maker was first exploited in August 2021 when approximately $7 million of users' funds were stolen. The development team later acknowledged that the exploit had occurred because of a private key hack. At the time, it agreed to partially compensate investors with an immediate airdrop of 500 USD coin, okay, per person. The remaining compensation, this is part of the grift here, okay? The remaining compensation was to be paid through an IOU token called USDR. And of course, USDR is a token that they issue themselves, right? They create out of thin air. So it costs nothing to give it to them. But wait, it actually, this gets a whole lot worse. This token would become redeemable for the protocol's native coin DAO at prevailing prices within a year. So it's the carrot on the end of the stick. Listen, we're going to give you this IOU, and when you're ready, when we're ready, you can then convert it into the real thing. This is, I mean, you know, talk about, I would say it's buying silence, but the reality is that they mint this crap for free. Yeah, or almost free. So, yeah, I mean, you're not even buying silence. You're just essentially grifting silence. Anyways, let's continue. Victims of the hack told Cointelegraph that USDR redemptions were never allowed and that they still have not been compensated for their remaining losses. In addition, decentralized finance researcher Soma Analytics has claimed that DAO Maker forced through a proposal. Here we go, guys. This is where the whole proof of stake shit falls apart, okay? With its governing body to cancel the reimbursement plan using its large token supply to ensure the vote's outcome. So to all the wonderful shitcoiners out there who think that the foundation that got a certain percentage of the pre-mined coins doesn't really matter and they're just helping out. Guys, what you don't realize is that with your proof of stake shitcoin, they own all the votes. They own the majority of the votes. And when they decide to change something in the protocol, any decision, they are actually the sole deciders. Not you with your little hopium bag, okay? It's not how this works. When the August 2021 hack occurred, this contract was drained and they lost all of it. RedDrac stated that after the compensation plan was announced, they received 500 USDT and that they also received 1,500 USDR. And of course, the USDR is the fake bullshit token that they've minted themselves, which again, I'm not even going to get into how USDT is also just a fake bullshit token, but that's no different than Tether and any of these other stable coins. Anyways, let's continue. The USDR was never allowed to be redeemed for DAO as promised. According to RedDrac, they eventually discovered that a liquidity pool for USDR existed and that they could sell into this pool to cash out early. However, the tokens were not in a 1-to-1 ratio to USDT. Instead, the tokens were being sold at something like 80% of their par value. He claimed that the USDR is nearly worthless now, and there is presently no way to exchange it for other cryptocurrencies. The previously existing liquidity pool was later shut down, leaving holders with no means to cash out. This is the This is the playbook. And I did go take a look for USDR. I found one quote unquote crypto ticker with USDR, and there was no activity. So I don't even know if that's it. Anyways, Telegram user ZZ Telecom told a similar story, claiming that they received 500 USDR as compensation for their loss from the hack. Months later, the token began trading for 60 to 80 cents per coin. With such a high discount, they decided to buy roughly 10,000 coins, which they expected to be able to redeem for $10,000 worth of DAO once the tokens became redeemable. But the tokens never became redeemable and are now worthless on the secondary market. So I don't know if you understood that, but essentially this person was fleeced and then fleeced again. Okay? Like this is what it is. Claims of a DAO maker cover-up. According to Soma, the DAO maker team created a proposal to abandon the redemption process for USDR. This proposal was allegedly passed by DAO maker, but was then deleted from its snapshot webpage. They claimed that the DAO maker team likely used its own tokens to outvote the majority of token holders, ensuring the vote would turn out the way it wanted. It allegedly distributed tokens to new wallets in an attempt to obfuscate its role in the proposal's passage. Between October 3rd and October 5th, 2022, a unique USDR proposal surfaced on DAO Maker's official Discord from some user named @Dante.eth. The mysterious user argued that redeeming USDR would have a massive impact on the price of DAO for everyone, and the token price might never recover. Purportedly, for this reason, the user called for a vote that offered 3 options for the redemption process. And I believe, again, this is my own opinion, I believe this Dante.eth is an account that was specifically designed to come in, create this narrative, right, and then provide solutions, which essentially are actually solutions provided by the original team. And of course, the solution that will most likely be picked is, obviously the one that works best for the inside holders, the people who rugged all these other people. Anyways, option 1 was for the decentralized autonomous organization to algorithmically sell DAO tokens and airdrop USDC to holders of USDR at a 1-to-1 rate. This would have allowed holders to be fully compensated. Okay, so this is the best option, but with stable coins instead of DAO tokens. Option 2 was to distribute DAO tokens from a venture yield partnership to USDR holders once a year. Maybe that could be a good one too. Who knows? Option 3, though, was to redeem USDR at only 50% of its par value. Let's take a guess what ended up happening. The option to redeem at 50% par value was passed. Oh my God, no way. With 61.72% of tokens being used to vote in favor of it. Yeah, everybody's going to vote for less, right? Of course. Anyways, however, the researcher claimed these 61.72% of votes were cast by only 6 wallet accounts. Yeah, that's right, guys. The majority of accounts voted for option 1, but these small holders reportedly did not possess enough tokens to outvote the 6 whales that voted for the 50% haircut. The proof of stake shitcoin doesn't fucking work, okay? And this is one of the ways that it totally fails. This is the exact same system that we have right now, okay? On the Bitcoin network, regardless of how much Bitcoin you have, this does not entitle you to vote in anything at all in any way, shape, or form, as opposed to these proof of stake shitcoins. It's all about how much you own. There is zero proof of work. It is not tethered to reality. And this is what people forget about altcoins. And if you say to yourself, oh, well, that's not going to happen in my token. That's what everybody thinks. Everybody thinks that it's not going to be their token that gets affected until it does. And then, of course, it's just evil maxis, right? The evil Bitcoin maxis did it again. Despite the DAO vote for 50% redemption, Soma Analytics claimed that even this compensation was never distributed by the team. From what I recall, there was never any claim portal and people got simply nothing, they stated in a message. Instead, according to their report, the team allegedly decided to make USDR unredeemable and allow holders to gain DAO power with it instead. The DAO power that can be gained from the tokens is not transferable, making the token essentially worthless in a secondary market today. Guys, this is by design, okay? this is what they do. In 2017, in 2018, I can't tell you how many ICO projects, right? They initially came out, they pumped, and obviously there was never any real roadmap, right? Like it's really, and even if there is, creating a roadmap and then not following through with it isn't a very difficult thing to do. But I saw a lot of projects, right, essentially fall apart. And then what did the developers do at the end to wash their hands? We're going to give it to the community now. We're going to give this project back to the community so it can be fully decentralized, and they just use the magic words and boom, like all of a sudden these people are like, yeah, we're going to grow this ecosystem. Spoiler alert. What those devs did at the beginning to monetize all of the users, that was the experience. That was the ecosystem. Okay? That's all it was. According to Soma Analytics, the 6 wallets that voted for the 50% haircut were created just 10 days before the voting. No way. Man, that is a shock. Received substantial amounts of DAO within the same 2 days. What? This was coerced? No way. With funds possibly obfuscated through a CX and voted exclusively for option 3. Almost like they were planning to do this all along. I'm shocked. In their view, this provided a strong indication that the wallets were created by some person or group that was holding a large percentage of the DAO's tokens total supply, such as the protocol's development team. No way. It also indicated that whoever voted for the proposal did not want their identity to be known, as they went through the trouble of creating new wallets solely to participate in the vote. Cointelegraph could not independently confirm which wallets voted for the proposal when they were created or how they were funded, as the proposal has been deleted. Of course it has. Right? They want to remove tracks. Cointelegraph contacted the DAO Maker team for comment, but did not receive a response by the time of publication. So, what is the takeaway? You've got a bunch of very, very angry bag holders 3 years later who have been dicked around, for the lack of a better term, okay? And it is just, look, obviously from the Bitcoiner point of view, I'm going to sit there and say, yeah, well, we kind of told you so. Not them specifically, but just in general, right? And the problem is this, especially with these altcoin projects, it just takes a few people to sit there and say, oh, look, I changed my life, because my bag, 20,000x or something like that. Just remember something, okay? When you're looking at a story, right, there's different actors in the story, right? There's the storyteller, there's the con man, there's also, the essentially the credentialized, I guess you'd say the authority, right? The credentialized authority, which brings some type of respectability to the project. All of these players, they're all working hand in hand in order for you to believe the story. Okay, but look, these are people 3 years later, right? Like, they still didn't get their money back. Okay, so they're still wrecked. And unfortunately, they're kind of left hanging on a thread. So either you cut your losses and decide, okay, this was a grift. I did get grifted. Or you're going to sit there and you're going to continue to have hope and continue to wait. And that's a tragedy right there. Okay, that is a tragedy right there, because I genuinely feel that the people that are doing that don't or haven't learned enough to have the conviction to just walk away and say, okay, you know what? I'm done with these stupid things, right? I'm done with pretending to win to play stupid games to win stupid prizes. I am just going to save in Bitcoin. Anyways, guys, I love doing the shitcoin stories. I know that not too many people like them, but that's okay. In the end, I don't really care because I enjoy talking about them. So, yep, that is the clip for today. Guys, I am going to catch you tomorrow.